Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we help you unlock your potential freedom through land investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Estate Investing Podcast. Today's topic, we're talking about how we made $500,000 from one single county in 1,000 mailers.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Daniel Apke, joined again by my brother and business partner, Ron Apke. So this county, I want to talk about this because we mailed, probably 50 counties before this one. Mm-hmm. Maybe not 50, but, whatever the number of counties we mailed before this county. And we didn't necessarily get those results. We were getting deals and stuff. But this was next level. And you will have these counties come that are just really, really good to you. Everyone has their county they just love if you do this consistently.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit since this county. We've talked about this area before. We're not going to, if you guys are watching this to hear exactly what county it is, we're not going to say this in this episode.
But we've made $500,000 in multiple counties.
100%.
We're just focusing on this one.
This one, the thing that was so wild about this, and I don't have all the numbers right in front of me, but it was 1,100, maybe 1,200 mailers, and we got like 9 deals. And these weren't bad deals. These were buy for $30,000, sell for $80,000, buy for $60,000, sell for $140,000.
Buy for $100,000, sell for $250,000.
And when you guys get counties that come back like this, and it is going to happen, whether it's your first time you mail or it's your 10th time, like you are going to get counties like, holy crap. And the first natural thing to go through your head is like, 1, did I overprice? 2, what's wrong with this county? Like I remember like you just keep on getting these deals coming in and it was multiple per day. And you're like questioning like, okay, is something wrong with this area? Are we going to be able to sell the land?
Exactly. And it's like looking back at those deals now, if I got those on my plate, I would have sent them to title right away, just knowing the county as we do now in that area. But then we were a little skeptical because we didn't know what's going on. We got 10.
It was early on in our career.
Yeah, it was earlier on. And we can talk about other counties this has happened in too. And it will happen. There's specific counties in my head that I'm just think of, and you're like, that's our county. It did well. And you see people in Discord saying the same exact thing.
Yeah, and you guys see me if you guys are in any of our YouTube lives or stuff, and I recognize a lot of counties when people bring them to us, and I just remember deals happening in those counties. But this one is one that I don't know, maybe because it was like our first one that hit like this. You know what I mean?
We're waiting for it.
I think that's why this is
it's
wild.
Also where we bought one of the scariest deals with the landfill.
Yeah.
And we still made $25,000 on it.
Yeah. So we bought a landfill in that county. We bought 60 acres. Looking back at it, you know what, I look back at the most, if those deals came through today, we probably have 5 or 6 projects going on, subdivides.
Subdividing. We had a deal with 2,000 feet of road frontage and a pond. And it's like perfect subdivide.
Yeah. But that's what I kind of look back when I do it. The thing that I don't want to get with this episode, Dan, is you're never going to know that you're going to hit a county like this. There's so much that goes into it with pricing. You can make yourself more efficient, but you're not going to know exactly.
Who picked that county, by the way?
I think that was you. We were moving to a different area. We were trying a different area, and I think it was the first one in this new area.
We're the first one in the state, really.
Yeah.
There was none.
I think it was the first one in this new area, and it was just absolutely insane. And the best part, there's a lot of good parts about making that much money on $700. We literally, and that's probably what the title of this or the thumbnail on YouTube, if you're watching on this, it was literally $700 of marketing money into $500,000.
We used Realtor too.
For a lot of them, not all of them. He was scared of one of our properties.
There's pit bulls and stuff, he said.
Yeah, I remember. And that's the thing, guys. And there's so many learning lessons from this county because we did so many deals. There's a 5-acre property we bought in this county. He went there. He's like, don't buy this. This is a horrible area. And Daniel and I kind of looked at each other. It had a utility easement. It was in a bad area.
Skeptical. We were a little concerned. What made us push this over to be like, we're buying this?
I sold it with cash on the phone. I was at my son's soccer practice. I remember I was watching it where I used to live down in South Carolina, and I was watching his soccer practice, and I posted on Facebook, and I probably had 100 messages.
Because it was 5 acres for $25,000. That's a hot. That's just a good acre size in a decent area. But it had, just going back to the point, the realtor said, stay away from this. It's 5 acres for $25,000. He's not going to make anything on that, right?
Yep.
To the right of it, it's a mobile home with a bunch of beaten down cars and stuff. To the left of it was a mobile home with a bunch of beaten down cars and a bunch of pit bulls or something like that.
Utility easement in the front.
Utility easement in the front going through it, but it was just every lot around it was filled up. I don't care how trashy the realtor thought it was. There are people looking for those type of lots to where they can do anything they want. It was 5 acres for $25,000. They're going to go and put their mobile home there.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, there's so many lessons learned from that county in general. When we selected that, going back to when we selected that county dinner, when you selected that county, as you let me know, what is there anything specific? Like, there's no secret sauce to it by any means.
There wasn't a lot of activity. I remember that. Like, there was not a lot for sale and there was not a lot sold.
It definitely fits the criteria that we teach.
It definitely fits the criteria, and that's how we came up with it. Like, that was the same type of criteria. And we even looked back to see what it looked like then, and it was very standard. There was not, the one concern I would have, if, you know, potentially, like, the one thing I could call out is there's just such a low amount of sold data as well. And that's some people ask us about, like, what if there's not a lot of sold data? It doesn't always matter. It doesn't always correlate to the demand. There was sold. It wasn't like 2 data points, but it wasn't a ton.
Yeah, so when you have counties like that, guys, that might have 1, 2, 3 properties for sale that are 2 to 20 acres, and you only have 6 sold comps in the last 3 years, the key isn't necessarily saying those counties don't work. The key is looking into those sold comps and seeing how fast they're actually selling. Yeah. And when we did that, if I remember right, when we did that, like, those things were selling fast. So this one fit. It wasn't a ton of mail either. Like, we were investing $700. But yeah, that's what I remember with the county, and things flew off the shelf once. This was a hotter time also in terms of selling land. Like, interest rates were lower. Everyone was looking to invest in any type of real estate, but it's the same now. Like, I've looked at the county. We've done more deals in the county since then. Yeah. But
it was, the main thing is, like, we used a simple county selection method. It looked nice. We were mailing a lot of volume at that time. And that was one of many counties that we mailed. It wasn't like, oh, we're mailing this. This looks great. I can't wait to get the results back. It's not how it works. You do a bunch, you put a bunch out there and see what comes back. And that was one that came back very strong. One of the best deals we got from there. Did we remail that, by the way? We did.
We've remailed it multiple times.
We've remailed it and got multiple deals.
Yeah. We get deals every single time we mail it.
Yeah, really?
100%.
Okay, nice. That's awesome to hear. But yeah, so we, I didn't know how many. I know we've remailed it once and got a bunch of deals for it. But I'm kind of losing my train of thought on where it was. But the fact is, what I was trying to hit was that this wasn't a planned county to make that kind of money. It was just, let's see what we get back, get a deal or two, whatever. And then we had good success. And then we even got, one guy's neighbor ended up selling his other piece of land to us, correct?
No, it was him.
Oh, it was him.
He owned it within an LLC across.
And that's right. And our realtor made us $100,000. Yeah. Because our realtor's like, hey, that LLC is owned by this guy. You might want to reach out to him and see if he's willing to sell. I call him. He's like, yeah, how much? Mm-hmm. I offered him $135. We sold that for $260. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, the same guy, he texted in a purchase agreement. It was 60 acres. He texted in without talking to us ever. He just texted us I remember.
The first one was 60 or the second?
The first one was 60 acres. Yeah, the first one was 60. That was the more expensive one. The first one was more expensive. It was 60 acres, buy for 90. I don't know what it was exactly. But yeah, it was literally just that was one of our first big deals that we've ever done that was just a texted picture of the purchase agreement in. And like, you always like, okay, what's wrong with this land? What's going to be wrong? And then we look at it, we're like, this land is awesome.
Yeah. And then we had someone send us a picture. A guy took his canoe down there or something. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a big creek going through it. He took his canoe or something.
It's wild. Yeah. It's wild looking back at all the different deals. So many lessons learned.
Yeah, and you'll have different counties. Like, we have a county, I won't say the name for the purpose of this episode because I don't want people focusing on specific areas. But we had another county recently that we also made probably over $500,000.
Less deals, bigger deals.
Less deals, bigger deals. We did have some 10 and 20 acre, maybe 5-7 acres as well. But we also had one big subdivide and then some other small ones, correct? And then maybe 2 or 3 subdivides, maybe. Yeah. In that, so that's more of our deals now. We're making $500,000 with less work, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, would I take that county again? Absolutely. Oh yeah. But yeah, if you can get it doesn't have to be, I don't know, 10 deals to make $500,000. That's actually pretty good in terms of margins. But we had such big margins on some of these. But that being said, these counties are going to come up. It's going to look different. Like, your hot county, your county that you're going to kill it in, it's going to look different than this. It might not be 1,000 mailers and 10 deals. It might be 2,500, 3,000 mailers and 3 deals, but they're $100,000 plus each. And that's what a lot of our members who are really doing well, and like they really make the most of those big deal opportunities.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just get creative with it. It will come. Stay consistent. Like, if there's one thing to take from this episode, it's hitting that same exact point I hit before. Don't take county selection too seriously. You're not going to find think differently, think outside the box. 70 to 80% of land investors are in one area. Sprinkle your marrow around the country. Try different areas. Try things that don't fit our county selection box.
Yeah.
We're talking about 50 to 150 population density in there. That's just to get the easiest deal the quickest. Like, think outside of that. Go lower than that. Go a little higher than that. Test more metro areas. Test more rural areas. Try a bunch of different stuff is like what I want them to get. And you'll see what you like to do and what hits and what's working for you. Find your own niche. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find your own niche as you send mail, as you learn, as you do deals. And that's what I talked about in a couple episodes ago in 3 steps to making $100,000 per month is 1, like you got to learn. 2, you need to kind of get in the groove, do some deals. And 3, you need to find your niche. So those really are the steps, I think. That's what I said in that episode, Dan, to kind of get to that $100,000 a month. But like I said, or like we kind of touched on this episode, guys, these counties will come. They're going to look differently for you, but it's not going to be every county, obviously, but they will come. And a lot of people, I think, I don't know. I think they get kind of in the negative mindset where like, okay, maybe they had a county, they broke even on a deal, they made some money. Then it's like they're just skating by, and then this county comes that they're making $200,000-$300,000 in a county. Then it's like, then they just gets them over the top. Some people quit before they get to that county, though.
They will. A lot of people quit before they get there. You'll have a county you get 1 response in, or 5 people responding, they're all mad. But it will happen. You got to get creative. Like we talk about multi-level marketing and all that stuff, and where you're texting and mailing. Like that's the thing. This county, your hot county, there's so many people cold calling now.
Yep.
Like it might come from cold calling. You might get 7 leads and all of them convert. Like you don't know. You just got to get your feelers out there. In order for someone to sell their land, you have to reach them. So how can you reach them most efficiently, and how can you reach the most people? And you got to come up. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was frustrated. One county, he didn't get enough leads back.
Yep.
I said, you want leads? Text. You'll get 20% leads. What are you qualifying as leads? So you should be texting if you want to optimize for leads and not conversions. And there's different things to go about it. But obviously, we're talking about primarily mail in this episode and when you'll hit that. But just being consistent, you'll get there with whatever marketing you're doing, like cold calling, texting, and just make sure to continue to adapt and change your systems and operations behind those 2 especially, and then obviously mail as well.
Absolutely. Well, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. If you guys have not already, hit the subscribe button below if you're watching on YouTube. If you guys are listening on Apple or Spotify, please share this with a friend. It really helps us. Leave us a review on there. Other than that, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining, guys. As always, thank you for joining. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and share this with a friend. It really means the world to Ron and I, but more importantly, it could help change the life of someone else. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next episode.